Hello, my name is Tylluan. I'm a solitary pagan witch, I'm an author, and the founder of the Wolf and Howl Press. And today's little chat was suggested to me by somebody who wrote and talked about using a foreign language when casting a spell. And the background to it was that this person had come from a family who originally came from somewhere, I think in Europe, and spoke a totally different language, and that their magic had always been done in their native tongue. But of course, having moved and passed it on, this person is now faced with, well, what do I do? Do I do a spell in a language I no longer speak? It's a very interesting query, actually. I'm very glad they asked it. It depends how comfortable you feel with it. I think if it's a language you've learned from family or friends, something like that, I think it's a good idea. Carry it on. It's a tradition, and it would be a great pity to lose it. Doesn't mean you can't work on a translated version for yourself at some point. I think you can. I think that would be quite nice to do. But certainly I would say, if you feel comfortable with it, give it a try, because you know magic is all about experimenting. It's all about trying to find the best way that works for you. Because after all, even covens and various magical groups, they all have different traditions, you know. A Gardnerian coven may not work in the same way as a more eclectic one. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a manner of working, and of course as solitaries we have massive choice, and we will change as we go through our path, you know. So yes. And also there is a very good tradition of using foreign words which have a magical tradition attached to them. Now, what these are sometimes called are the voces, or voces it should be, voces magicae, the magical words. And there's a whole load of these. You find them in the Greek magical papyri and things like that. And there are a whole series of words and symbols that were popularly used. Sometimes they are really gobbledygook. You find it a lot in the Anglo-Saxon spells too. They'd shove all these things in, and I don't think anybody had a clue what they meant. But it didn't matter. It was part of the rhythm, and it was part of the tradition, if you like, of the spell. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. One of the most important ones that you will ever learn is what's called the ephesia grammata. And they're used for protection, they're used for cursing, all sorts of different things. They're used to give force. And they are very, very, can you say, there is something to saying them. We'll do a separate little chat on the ephesia another time, but they have a certain power. You can feel it when you say them. And of course, you know, even if you don't want to go into all these things, and you're just thinking, well, maybe it would be nice to put something there that isn't quite my native tongue, but it's something a little special. Well, this is why we put things like amen on the end of a prayer. It's not that it's powerful in its own right. It's gathered a certain momentum over the millennia. But of course, you've got to be very circumspect about this. You know, you do find on things like Facebook and social media where they'll put up a picture of usually somebody who's in a dire state of health. Can I get an amen for this? Or show you care, type amen. Oh, bollocks, I'm sorry. And pardon my French, as they say, but that is nonsense. That has no power whatsoever. You might as well fit a couple of batteries to it if that's all you want. That is not power. That is being manipulated. And a wise witch learns the difference. And this is something else we're going to come on to in one of this batch of talks, because while I have been away, I've had a lot of time to think about these different things I want to chat about. So no, you can use amen by all means at the end of your spell. A lot of people like, so motive. Who was that? Noah. That was little Noah having a shake. You going to come here? No, he said, I'm not. He's been out the garden all day. He's covered in mud. He looks like something that's come out of a swamp. What was I saying about amen? Yes, people will say, so mote it be. Mote being an old-fashioned word for, well, may. Mote has another meaning, which is something that goes in your eye. A mote, a tiny thing. a speck. My favourite for ending off a spell is a foreign word, a Latin word called fiat. Fiat. You spell it like the car, fiat. You say fiat, and it means let it be done. Let it be done. So may it be done. Let it be done. And that is really a word, a nice little word to put on the end if you don't want to go into the more in-depth magical words. But of course, time goes by, you might study them and you might find, wow, yes, that's what I want to do. So anyway, I hope you found that helpful, and thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.